Oh, okay.
8th match of the day. Nope.
Yeah.
No, it's not.
Yeah, of
7th,
course it's
no?
fake from Seth.
Yeah, it is 7. I don't know what's happened to my... I've just lost the graphic. It's just gone. Don't know where it is. It doesn't exist, apparently, so we'll just go in-game. Yeah, I definitely... I changed it. I must have saved Spirit and Skillers twice instead of Reynor versus Harstem. Oh, well.
Alright, let's do it, guys. A series that I think a lot of us are very excited for. Reynor versus Harstem should be on the European server.
The Zerg player is Reynor.
I think Byron wins FC Pam Pam.
And spawning over in the bottom left has our
Before they started playing, I really thought Arsenal was going to advance, but after seeing Arsenal last weekend and seeing them in the first match against Byron, I just feel that Arsenal is going to pull a classic Arsenal and completely shit the bed and ruin their entire season in like 2 weeks.
I stood up and walked away, so I did it before I left. and then it was still said Spirit versus Skillers, so I just... Yeah, it's just gone, man. The Reynor Harstem graphic never existed.
Yeah, this is definitely a match that I've been looking forward to, and playing on Amphion as well. This is cool. Like, it's the first time we've seen it today or over the last.
I know Byron has been horrible in the Bundesliga, but I think a night like this, yeah, it's close. It's gonna be fun for us. I think Byron wins, but let's see.
We went through a phase of Sky Toss a long time ago when it was like Jagannatha and whatnot, but now there's quite a few avenues for pros to go down. Obviously, they love the Stargate openings and whatnot, but this is a very funky map, so I'm curious how they're both going to expand and take this unit-wise.
Yeah, well, I think what's kind of cool on this map is that PvZ was really good on this map in TLMC. There was loads of...
And someone asked me a question before the break that I didn't answer yet, saying like, Roddy, do you think that Reynor is going to play different if they play on Europe and he has a very high ping than he would normally do? And I think the answer to that question is absolutely yes, 100%. You are going to see Reynor, I think, approach this best of 3 in a very different way than he will approach a series where he plays in Korea and the ping is 0. So, yes. In what way? That I don't know. Let's lean back and see. But yeah, I expect to see a very different game plan out of Reynor.
Yeah. I feel like PvZ, no one can really punish the other guy super hard, so it makes for a fun map because it is different and everyone gets a chance to play the game, which is always a good thing.
Yeah, this matchup in particular between these two, so obviously Reynor is playing from Korea or China, wherever he is at the moment, so we'll obviously be playing with some delay. But this, for me, is one of those where it's like, I remember seeing Harstem...
No, Palsy, I don't think there's anything when it comes to like hiding builds. I feel like in this era of StarCraft 2, execution is so much more important than hiding builds. And I think the level of competition that Reynor will face in the GSL qualifiers, I honestly think that Reynor can tell them in the beginning of the game what he's going to do, and he will still make it through. I just think he's going to be a lot better than the people in the qualies, but that obviously doesn't help him here.
Big upset in our mind, be how it's been for a long time, but obviously...
The tasteless one is fake, I think, Squire CD. I think mine is just recorded and applied to whatever video and StatFest 2. I think tasteless is actually fake because that's not even tasteless.
Like the whole Atlanta situation, he was sick. The Katowice situation, kind of maybe a little bit burnt out, so to speak. But whatever he's been doing recently, I do feel that Reynor's spent a lot of time taking it very serious. And we all know that he is a guy that can peak when he wants to. But it's getting to the point where he has to start making it happen, right? Because he's absolutely a player that you see him in a tournament, a major tournament with all the top players. He's a top 4 contender every time, but he hasn't looked like it as of late on the lands. But this is time to start stepping it up again for him, I feel.
Yeah, I think it's, I mean, he's obviously out in Korea, right, as well, so it's like, it's time to commit. Like, you know, it's time to show it again, right?
Queen Ling Nidus, guys?
I mean,
Queen Ling Nidus in the main?
Long, but
or in the corner of the natural? Are we feeling that?
To kind of get as good as he possibly can once again, so, yeah.
It's one of those, like, Gamers 8, like, he legit looked the best, didn't he? Like, nobody was touching him that tournament, so the fact that you know he can look that good. And right now, these Lings,
I think it's Queen Ling Nidus.
Probably a lot more than Harstem was thinking. The two Oracles are recalled back home to try and help deal with this, actually. So Harstem's taken this very seriously, and Reynor, I don't know if this was his plan from the get-go, but after dealing this much damage and maybe causing this much mayhem on the other side of the map, Nidus on the go here, Wardy. And I mean, it was a very quick lair timing from him.
Now that recall on the Oracles is monstrous, actually, because now Harstem is very, very unlikely to scout the Nidus. This might work. This might actually work.
He might just be the more aggressive player in this series. He might just want to send it, do things which do not require as heavy a set of micros.
Without being a hypocrite, Psych Roulettes, I will tell you that I obviously spoke to Reynor, and he did say that this is one of the builds he's thinking about. So it was very easy for me to put the dots together. This is not a sick soul read by me. He did tell me that there are certain things he will think of, and this was one of them. And based on everything I saw in the game, I think it was obvious. I want to be fair. I have a bit of insider information.
It's really bad. And hearing that noise, you know, that's where you take a big gulp, a big swallow, and you're like, oh my goodness, the one spot, new maps. Not had this truly done to me yet. He's gonna get. Oh, he can actually get in with those lings as well. He kind of hesitated for a moment there. He's in. The creep isn't on these queens.
He's
so
in. He's him. He's not in. He's him.
Are falling, and the amount of firepower that Harstem has available is severely limited. I think this is down.
Kill the battery though, Reynor. Kill the battery, mate.
With his pants down pretty damn massively. Gonna try and keep that shield battery alive with a force field, but the Queen DPS is there. More lings streaming in.
Reynor needs more though, guys. Reynor needs more than what he's currently getting.
It paid off.
But he is now starting to hold, and if he holds at any point, his work count is still okay here. There are lings up in his main base. He might be losing production, which will obviously be pretty disastrous for him. Yeah, okay. That's obviously not great. The army supply started to look okay, and then I was like,
that's an understatement. Everything is unpowered in the main. It's like, yeah, that's obviously not great. It's like, yeah, it's pretty disastrous, actually.
The production being shut down in the main base, and obviously just having too many queens on the low ground just kind of kills you, so never mind my hope. Just trying to have some hope for a friend, but yeah, wasn't meant to be.
Shout out to my man, a Spanish Giga Chat, 39 months, saying counting down the days. Can't wait to show you around Austin. Very excited for it too, matey. Less than 30, 28 days, and I'm gonna be in Austin, Texas. Sick food, some drinks, some cards. I'm so excited. It's gonna be amazing.
Yeah, no, good to see. And it was the perfect position. Like, Harstem just had no vision there to preemptively stop the Nidus or anything like that as well. So, yeah. I'm just getting the thingy up.
Yeah, Spanish Goat. Do you ever run into Bully or Bully? Do you ever run into Spanish Goat? Because I feel like you guys are very close to each other in MMR, so you guys should be able to run into each other every now and then, no? Yeah, you guys play, and how does it go? That's actually really fun. I would love to see you guys.
Select the races and type the names in.
That's fun.
Just a moment.
Oh, the difficult life.
It's
the
tough,
difficult
man.
life of Wardy.
Not ethical, TA. Even though like no one has ever said that I would not be allowed, but I don't do it because whenever there is a gray area, it's way better to stay on the safe side than take a risk. Like there's nothing for me to really win there other than like a couple bucks here and there and get lucky, but it just can create so much controversy that it's way better to stay away from it.
And I think this is actually very smart of him to do.
I did bet on Dota and I lost.
Risks where it's like he gets away with it, he'll be ahead. But if he doesn't, like he'll get punished. But why would a quote-unquote better player be the punishing guy? You know what I mean? Because then they're risking it by doing something like that. I think it's a smart way for him to play. But this game, he obviously did get massively punished by Reynor, and I think that was a good gear shift by him to do something like that, especially on a new map.
Yep.
I'll have everything, Squire. I'm gonna have cocktails, I'm gonna have Texas barbecue. I'm gonna be an animal in America.
Played pretty straight up games, and Harstem really just fell into that trap completely. Reynor top left, Harstem bottom right. And game number 2 of this best of 3. Mappa had Mappa gets like 36 seconds. He's like, nope, that's it. No longer.
Hello, Danny. No LA this time. Only Texas.
Alrighty.
Thank
so
the Lord.
Harstem again with the probe early on, getting the nice block action going. Reynor is a guy that's mixed up his drone timings within regards to how he does take his natural, be it like, you know, you go for that 14 extractor trick out of 15, get the hatchery nice and early, and Proros's early probe feels like, damn,
I was in LA, mate, like less than a month ago. Or actually a little bit over a month ago right now. 5-6 weeks ago I was in LA for 4 days, and then I went to Vegas. Are you staying in Austin the whole time? No. Only 3 days in Austin, and then I'm going to Dallas for DreamHack.
tends to follow very similar builds in a series. So I'm expecting like a Stargate, but maybe not being so crazy with just 2 oracles on the aggressive.
Yeah. I mean, honestly, yeah. I mean, he just.
You're so funny, Statfest. You look at that as a positive?
On the map as well, not even like
All right.
around the base of Reynor. They were like stuck, like seeing the links.
I'm sitting here, I open my phone, and I'm like, what the fuck? What is this? Like, I've never said that about this game, innit? Statfast looks at it, he's like, oh, cool, I'm included.
Honestly, like, I mean, Harstem has lost to Reynor the last few times.
No, I didn't go to the sphere. I do really enjoy looking at the sphere from outside. I was a fat kid. Vicky loves it in particular when it turns into the giant smiley and it goes into sleepy mode. She thinks that's really fun. We didn't go inside, but it was very fun to look at it just from the outside.
Good in PvZ, so it's not an unwinnable match. It's kind of a shame to see the first game down so quickly.
Where?
Yeah, definitely. And was it the
Okay.
Star Wars qualifier as well? Recently, or was it not that match that they played?
I can't remember.
I'm feeling like it was something quite.
I might not have seen that
maybe.
one.
Maybe that was Showtime, actually. Maybe.
Yeah, I don't think
I just
Harstem was in
remember.
there.
No, I seem to remember a Protoss definitely doing it, but I think it was Showtime actually now looking back.
Makes sense.
Harstem will get nice scout off with this Adept. Might get some damage done early on. Nice drone micro so far out of Reynor. Couple of drones are close to dying. Reynor's usually very quick about the spore. That might be the ping going against him here. Still, though, manages to keep one alive over there. Not bad, not bad.
Not bad at all. Well, Oracle is continuing up on the side of Harstem, so he brings that through. Chrono boosts it along. Link speed is going to finish shortly. Evolution Chamber and additional drones all building from Reynor. I mean, we'll see what he gets off the Evo Chamber, but otherwise, we're in for a pretty standard setup here so far. Obviously, Reynor not layering it up super quickly or anything with that Evo Chamber on the way. I very much so do see him looking for a more standard game.
Yeah, the Evo Chamber is at the back, though. It's, you know, sometimes you find Zerg's getting ready to wall off with it, and I mean, that's an incredibly quick plus melee. Like,
You guys think Reynor is going to play Spire here? No inside information this time around. I almost have the feeling that it's just going to play like pure Queen, Ling, melee upgrades into a Spire, maybe?
Ling, Bane, Queen all in.
Or is it
could be. You can
or some sort of a
definitely count everything out,
dark?
man. Like,
I mean, Spire would go for a long game, and I don't know if he would really be feeling that.
Reynor's mindset right now,
But it's hard to get Queens to the other side of the map on Oceanborn, unless you have quick drop-aloids.
where it gets a bit finessey and it's like storm here, pull back here, like makes it really hard for you. So if you're playing with delay against that, that's not a situation you're like, oh yeah, I'd love that with delay. Playing your comfort zone. I'll play a bit more my comfort zone and I'll make you have to react as opposed to guide me through the game. But we'll see. 3 oracles are on the map this time. It's going to be a
I think that Reynor will obviously be looking for the games to be over as quickly as possible, because the longer they go on, the more likely it is that Harstem is going to get better and better trades, will be able to get more value out of his units. So it would make sense that Reynor is looking for the quickest possible way to kill his opponent.
Negotiating through the third to the natural.
He's making a shit ton of links at the moment.
Queen in a moment is what.
Hello?
No, we decided to recall, which is fine, but then one of the oracles got caught in that recall. I'm not sure if that was intentional. It will activate. It will help to push.
He's just going to maybe walk the queens to the other side of the map? Is he just going to go full dark here?
That's a lot of lings in production.
That's a
That
lot
plus
of
1
lings.
melee coming online very soon.
And
I
no
guess-
lair, right?
Yeah.
So this is absolutely
He's
going to
just
be
walking
Link,
them.
Pink, Queen all in.
Yeah,
As soon as Harstem picks up on this, all he needs to do is just build cannons and batteries. Like, you just build cannons, batteries. Oh, this is not good for Harstem, though.
if you're feeling a little bit uncomfortable to
Oh,
do
Harstem,
something that
mate.
your opponent is
Harstem.
way not prepared for, and
What are the two
Harstem,
oracles
he's
doing,
really
guys? They're
boy.
just chilling.
He's a
Oh my
greedy
goodness.
boy, and he is getting
Harstem is in a lot of trouble here.
totally off guard here.
Yeah.
Totally off guard.
This is terrible.
He hasn't seen the queens
This is
till
really
now.
bad.
This is the
Just
first
off the
time he
minutes
sees
before
them.
anything even happens.
Oh my
An Oracle
goodness.
goes down as well. This is the kind of series that Harstem,
What?
I can see him in my mind, right? Shaking his head like, oh, this just was not it. This was not it at all. I mean, this is going to be a less than 15 minutes in-game series, which is just brutal because, again, Harstem's been playing well lately. But holding this seems very tough because he's already just taken so much damage. Now, that's a good force field that helped, but then the force field does give way. We do actually have the Banes going to have to try and struggle to get through once again. Looks as though they're going to stay on the top side. Super Battery will buy some time, and the Oracles will activate. So Reynor has not broken through just yet to Harstem. Making something of this, getting close to finishing up that Blink, which is obviously extremely useful as well.
Cool idea to wall off with a Cybercore, by the way, guys. I kind of like it.
Many though? Oh my goodness, this is wild. All the Banes are going to go down, and now we're going
That
to have
Cybercore wall off is very cool.
Might have just found himself the defense, but it will be with a dead third base.
It will. I mean, he's ahead in supply, and
He's up 23 workers. This might actually still be a hold.
probes that he has. I mean,
Okay, those Baneling connections were big, but
like they do have Blink available, but these Lings with +1 are absolutely shredding through them. He's keeping a lot of his probes alive, which is great. And I mean,
don't forget that the queens cannot easily evacuate, so it's very likely that every single queen dies.
Soon, and Harstem, he's survived. He's survived, but he's going to be very grossly oversaturated on just the basis that he has. Was that another Oracle just died there?
Yeah, I think that was all of them, right? So all
He has one more.
There's one still alive, super low HP, but yeah, one of them went down and fought the queens. And,
Actually, I think Harstem is ahead.
Reynor
Like,
supply is not looking pretty on the end of
why
that
would
map.
Harstem not be ahead right now?
Kind of good defense
Against a hatchery tech 3-base Zerg,
I
like,
think Reynor should have
I think
stuck
Harstem
the
is
Banes
ahead.
on the left-hand side much more quickly. Because if you do that straight away, you at least force another force field there, and then when the force fields expire...
That Cybercore Wolof,
can get
fucking
in
brilliant.
there, right?
At one point, he even had 2 Cybercores in production. I don't really know where the other one was. But yeah, super smart to just go for the building that generates a shit ton of HP very quickly.
Reynor finally hits Lair.
Makes it almost impossible for Lings and Banes to come in from 2 angles. Like, actually very well done.
Very quickly himself. He's also got quite a quick Templar Archives here, and if there is one bane of Zerglings, it is highly upgraded Archons, and that will absolutely add some backbone to this mix of his. And Reynor, this is problematic. Like, he's
Yeah, I
gonna
think
go for
6.
Hydras, which I think is
I think it was
also
6
a
or
good
7
choice.
queens that ran to the bottom side of the map.
Really like playing against Hydras, so they're both making the right stuff here.
Did I not see a single queen transfuse? No, you did not, because there was no creep.
These are the kind of engagements on the map that he doesn't want.
I will not throw anyone under the bus. But there was actually a queen walk during Gamers 8. And then the queens were attacking on, what was that map? Royal Blood? Is that a map name? And obviously, you cannot drop transfuse if there is no creep. And it was a hatchery tag all in. And the caster called out the Zerg for not dropping a single transfuse and losing the queens. And I was like, ay, ay, ay. Ay, ay, ay. Can be saying that.
Like, he's working with what he's got, but we've also got to remember, like, he lost a good 6, 7, 8 queens on that front there, so it's not as if he has like a line.
I will not say who. Enjoy going through all these EVPs on Royal Blood of Gamers 8. They usually drop creep on this rush. You need to have Lair tech to drop creep. A Overlord from Hatchery tech cannot drop creep, so it's impossible.
He's actually happy to play the longer game. He feels as though attacking in might be one of the ways he loses things.
Todd actually was not at Gamers 8, guys, so it cannot be Todd.
I think Reynor.
No, the player who did the build was obviously completely aware of the fact that he could not transfuse. But it's still nice to walk queens to the other side of the map, if you can transfuse or not, because at least they give anti-air. And if you have no queens, you cannot attack air units.
This army comp as well, like Storm getting online, it's really good against all this. But
Enjoy watching the VODs, Jimmy.
really
I cannot just say no, no, no until you guys get the right answer.
place where he likes
It's very normal that Reynor did not transfuse there, because there is no way for him to transfuse.
realizes how weak Reynor really was.
Dongragu was not a caster, guys.
I don't think he did. I mean,
I don't even think Dongragu played at Gamers 8.
He's afraid of being on creep to fight, right? Because he's aware that Reynor can make.
You guys got me, it
bad
was
things
me.
happen.
I was trying to
He's just very
deflect.
confident playing from a lead, which maybe just says something about his kind of confidence in his game as well. Where he says, well, if I get Storm, and if I get a fourth, like, what do you actually do against me?
It wasn't
you
me.
can't kill me getting there. And if you can't kill me while I get there, I'm very happy to play from there. You know, later, a later game, you're playing with ping. Obviously, Reynor doesn't want to play the super late game. That's why he's setting up to go right now. He's like, looking for the Storm up the ramp. Couldn't really get in range, so it hits, but doesn't hit as well as it could have initially done. Good split from Reynor. The Storms so far being minimized. And that gives Reynor a bit of hope with this attack, which has to do a lot of work because he cut drones once again.
Reynor is Omega all in, so he needs a minor miracle to win here. I don't think he can win, but he's going to try.
Good. The shield battery overcharge back there is huge, though. I mean, Storms are landing.
No way.
There's a lot of bailing detonations, but Reynor's army's just way too small. Harstem.
What a sick hold by Harstem, man. Let's take another look at that, guys. Because that was actually a fantastic hold. He saw it so late. He saw it so late. Let's take another look at that. Apparently, every single time I want to go...
Production, that +1 melee coming online very soon.
And
It's all... He is a creep.
yeah,
Totally.
anything even happens. Now an Oracle goes down as well.
Literally at the very beginning of this attack, he loses an Oracle. It's 44 army supply with +1 melee against 18 army supply. And I think it says double Cybercore in production. I really wonder where the second one is, because the first one was on the left side, which was very
This is the kind of
smart.
series that Harstem, I can see him in my mind, right? Shaking his head like, oh, this just was not it. This was not it at all.
This is a crazy good hold. I did not think, if I could make a bet right now with you guys, be like, hey Roddy, $10 at Harstem holds this. I'll be like, yeah, I'll take that bet.
That's a good force field that held.
Force fields are really good. Battery overcharge was fantastic.
They have to try and struggle to get through once again. Looks as though they're going to stay on the top side. Super Battery will buy some time, and the Oracles will activate. So Reynor.
So what I'm wondering, by the way, guys, is that he has double Cybercore, but we only see one Cybercore here. Where do you guys think he's building the second Cybercore? Is it next to the main Cybercore? One is in a natural to wall off? Yeah, okay.
It's not broken through just yet.
Okay,
So
I didn't see that,
picking
but
something
yeah,
up
that's
again,
what I
close
figured.
to finishing up that blink, which is obviously extremely useful as well. These Banes do sneak through one or two of them, not many though. Oh my goodness, this is wild. All the Banes are going to go down, and now we're going to have blink available. I think Harstem might have just found himself the defense, but it will be with a dead third base.
It will. I mean, he's ahead in supply, and he didn't stop probing throughout all this. So that's a lot of probes that he has. I mean, now, these Stalkers, remember, like, they do have Blink available, but these Lings with +1 are absolutely shredding through them. He's keeping
This is
lot
a
of his
fantastic
points alive,
hold.
which is great. And I mean,
Great
these
force
Queens,
field,
this is
great
one
battery
ticket,
overcharge
isn't it?
timing,
I don't see them
great
getting
Cybercore on the
anytime
left
soon.
side.
Harstem, he's survived. He's survived, but he's going to be very grossly oversaturated on just the basis that he has. Was that another Oracle just died there?
Yeah, I think that was all of them, right? So all, okay.
Sick hold by the captain, very well done. Final round, El Sione, guys, game 3.
The amount of storms Harstem had, that army should have melted.
What was Reynor's mistake?
From the Shopify Rebellion.
It's a good question. I feel like your guess is as good as mine. Like, obviously, Reynor could have done a few things a tiny bit better when it came to the micro, but we can't hold that against him. Maybe when he saw battery overcharge, he should have just, like, pulled all the units temporarily back. Huh?
Bly, is that you? I mean, we saw this from Bly yesterday.
I don't think that... Like, I didn't see one absolutely obvious error on Reynor's side to be like, that's where he lost it. So, I just think Harstem played great there. That's actually very impressive how well he handled all of that. Does Reynor win that fight without the... If obviously Reynor, his queens could transfuse, yeah, then I think he'd be cooking. Because then your queens can go very, very adventurous. They can really stand right on top of these Protoss units. They can transfuse each other for days. With the very, very old queens, I think that's an easy win, but that's not very relevant.
And again, just gonna go down and pop the next in as the 400 minerals are available.
And now, Cybercore. Do you reckon he's going to probe scout after this one as well?
Yeah.
On the tanks is asking who does this map favor?
I mean, this is not a bad.
It's
scout
pretty
time,
even,
just
mate.
still
In
doing quite well.
PvZ, this map I think is kind of
Everything,
even.
so there's definitely some benefit to that. So that ain't bad at all. And yeah, he's just gonna take the watchtower, and he should be able to check the gold pretty quickly here.
Yes, and he's actually going there first, which I think is smart by him. So now he absolutely knows what he's up against here. Like, I was kind of questioning if he's going to get to see the drone run by, but he gets to see it in a different way. He gets to see them when
Of
they
course you
first,
would, Jumi.
over
Of
here.
course you would.
So Reynor is going to eke out.
I actually feel that I see Zergs lose a lot more on this map when they do take the gold first than when they don't. Like, you do this against max packs, and I feel like you end up losing 12 drones at minute 4 and the game is over.
Quite often players will show that, cancel it, get the Stargate down. Twilight Council, totally different game out of him as well.
Yep. Twilight counts. I mean, I think as soon as you see the gold base, right?
It's okay, Ilimo.
tells you that-
Mistakes happen, mate. Not everyone spends 12 hours a day on this video game. You don't have to apologize or feel bad. All good.
And
Yeah.
I mean, it obviously just allows you to be very aggressive on the map. It gives you a lot of positioning that you can do. And obviously you can really kind of try and punish the fact that that gold is far away from everything else. So I like it. I think it's a smart choice. I think it makes sense based on what we're seeing. It is a very common way to go about it. You don't even have to be like super aggressive with glaives, right? You can just kind of, you know, put a bit of pressure on a macro behind it. It doesn't have to be full commitment or anything. So yeah, we'll see what Harstem
He's
wants to
going to
do.
be
Very soon.
He's going to be super aggressive though, like
yeah,
3
he
extra
is.
gates on the way. Like this is Harstem saying to himself, "All right, I don't like you having that gold. That is not it." He's got 2 guys in each simulator here as well, which is.
I wonder how Reynor is gonna play this. Obviously, you're supposed to drop a Roach Warren, but I feel playing a game like this with ping from Korea to Europe and trying to defend with Ling Roach is a straight up fucking nightmare. So I'd almost say you should roll the dice and go for the Baneling Nest, where your defense becomes a bit hell or glory. I just don't see how you casually play Roaches with the ping that he has, but let's see.
Really going to bank in on it. It's almost like a nice warping point.
Well, he's gonna go +1 melee links. Honestly, I like that more.
It's one of those.
I still like it more than Roaches, because I think with Roaches he's just gonna get completely outplayed because of the ping. So I think you need to do something that is a bit off meta and different. He does drop a Roach Warren now, but at least we're gonna make a shit ton of links with +1 melee. But it's gonna already show up so much before +1 melee, right?
It was melee upgrade to start though from Reynor, so any Roaches he has to build here were not really initially part
Well,
of his plan.
It's gonna be very difficult for Reynor, I think. Let's see.
Really healthy link out in droning. He stopped at 34, and while taking the gold, that's.
Oh, that's you can't even. This is a lot of adepts already.
But yeah, the number of links he's going to get to buy time here and just hopefully deal with this nice and early, softening up quite a couple of these adepts. But so far, I think the attack's been okay for Harstem, given that he hasn't really lost anything. But
this is not bad. -3 adepts, guys. -4 adepts.
Not quite what you're after.
Hey, that was not bad. -4
really. I mean,
adepts.
they shade across into the natural, but there's no drones here now. Roaches on the way. Reynor might just go pure units from here on out as well, right? And just sort of send it. We saw a lot of like Roach aggression against Adept openers yesterday. If Reynor feels comfortable with the Roaches he's getting, he could just, go across the map. +1 melee there as well, so his Lings are also great on the reinforcement waves. He just killed these Adepts, so even more of a reason, I think, to just send it across the map right now. Harstem's rope.
Yeah, I'll switch over back to Twitch after this. YouTube is very nice for going back and taking another look at certain fights, but the quality just goes up, down, up, down, up, down. So I'll go back to Twitch after this best of 3.
Like there's a lot there's a lot lying on this. Like Reynor's economy didn't take that much of a hit, but Adepts, their timing window is kind of gone. He has to be careful with what.
I like how some of you guys say that Harstem is dead, and then some of you guys say Reynor is dead. I actually think Reynor is in a very good spot, but obviously he's gonna try to end this game in the next minute. Can he end it? We're about to find out.
That's exactly what he starts doing. And remember, he's got 3 hatcheries to work with here, 4 queens. He can get out a lot of units very, very sharpish.
Yes, he can. I mean, just
Thank you for that, Jeff. Let's see if it works.
Any distraction right now is good because
Yeah, I had it on auto.
Setting to go. So a couple more Ravages, more fitness. Purely Lings. Reynor added a couple of drones on the back of that Adept.
Someone raided me, and I have no idea who it is because I cannot read it. Is it my boy Rex?
You find a defense batteries. Obviously, you got to pick your overcharge very carefully here. The Immortal gets caught up, by the way, on the left side. The Lings are going to keep that busy and keep it away from the fight. So the Roaches are not going to have a, an Immortal on them.
Sniping the battery is very big, but there is another battery in the back.
It's
a lot of Lings dying, but it's now or never, guys.
Here, 20 to the 50. And it's one Immortal still alive on the left. The probes will put
Maybe put some Lings on the Immortal.
But he needs an army left at the end of all of this, and I think that is truly what he's going to be missing as Harstem just doesn't really have the numbers. I mean, these Ravagers can do very well against.
Oh, the barrier! What?
Back online though, and he's still got probes to help with some damage output. Loses one Immortal, but took a while longer, and now the other Immortal.
Reynor needs more. Reynor needs more.
So now we'll get fully surrounded and taken down quickly. So it looks as though Reynor might have just done what he needed to.
Yeah, all these units are getting battered and bruised now, and I mean, even with Adept Immortal, it's not exactly what you want. And Reynor's got +1 melee as well, so these Lings doing extra damage. And I tell you what, Harstem, he got away with it one time here against the aggression of Reynor, but
wonder if Overcharge would have been ready there again.
The amount of eco behind it as well, it's big, and Reynor made a lot of good calls this game.
Reynor still needs to kill him though, guys.
He really did. I think he found the defense.
I mean, it looks very, very, very promising, but Reynor still needs to kill him, and one bad fight against the battery.
Again,
it's not over yet.
Of this attack, and
yeah, I agree, Juanito. Like, I think it looks very promising for Reynor, and he almost has him, but it's not over yet.
There's no detection available for Reynor.
And battery overcharge can buy time for a Dark Shrine, maybe. Like,
can you survive that long? Probably not, but I like the idea because it's desperation.
A War Prism would actually be sick for Harstem to juggle those Immortals.
Oh, a bit of a surround here on these units, and that's an Immortal taking a chunk of Biles. Both the Immortals falling. Lots of roaches on the front lining. It's nothing but Adepts and GHG. Reynor 2-1.
Reynor 2-1. He is going to get it done, and he will get the victory and move through to the playoffs. So Reynor is into the
sick Reynor.
stage of the
Congrats, mate.
Harstem we'll have to try again later on, and that's going to be in Swiss round 4, which I believe actually starts up tomorrow. For
3-0, guys.
If that is going to be necessarily the Harstem matchup or so, but yeah, it is going to be happening. So congrats to Reynor. He gets it done from Korea as well, right? So, you know, he's still very good. He definitely, I think, adapted with a lot of aggression in the series. He did not want to play later game setups with that ping. But you know what? He got away with it. He didn't need to play the longer games. So that's what really counts. And that does knock off another matchup. We've got one match left here, Ben, out of the guys that are 2-0. And it's going to be back to some PvP as we go into Showtime versus Max Packs.
Ooh.
Then we're going to turn the page to the bottom of the tables and see who is getting eliminated here in Swiss round 3. So 5 best of 3s remain today. We'll be back with more in just a few. Don't go anywhere. It's more ESL SC2 Masters Spring after the break.
I'll make it a straight up prediction. No handicaps, guys. So we've got Clem, Spirit, and Reynor so far qualifying for the playoffs. And now we are going to find out who is going to be the first Protoss nerd to actually make it into the playoffs. Or was it Skillers in the end who won? No. Yeah. Was it Skillers who won? No, I have a brain lag. No, it was Spirit who won. Yeah. Alright. Tiny break. After that, we'll continue. Yeah, Spirit won. So we have Clem, Spirit, Reynor. And now we're going to figure out who's going to be the first Protoss in the playoffs. I don't think that prediction is really needed. But Reynor, chat was wondering where do you think it went wrong for you on Oceanborn, if you're still here and listening. Because I didn't really see like a overwhelming one big obvious error. Obviously, I think Harstem defended very well. You just think the all-in sucks, but the numbers looked very promising for you. You had a lot, he saw it late. Yeah, so like, do you think it's just like a couple of the tiny micro errors that otherwise you're better in like running in and out of range and committing to certain fights? Yeah, okay. Hello, Mana. Yeah, alright, it's fair. It was actually kind of an interesting scenario because it looked very promising. And not that there was like one thing that was the most obvious error. Like obviously units were derping a tiny bit here and there. Thought it was an interesting fight. Looked very promising. Shout out to Rex for the raid. Shout out to O'Neil Alex for the 8 months. And Into the Sky with the 68 months. Thank you guys. Appreciate everybody stopping by. I'm gonna take a tiny break, say hello to Vicky, and by the time that I come back, it is PvP time. Max Packs versus Showtime. Always a banger.